morning, beloveds. Okay. I'm not with it this morning. And I can't even tell you why. I'm just not. I think that there is a storm coming because I woke up with this whole side of my head going, hello! My sinuses are like, it's allergy season! Yay! So, I'm just fighting it a little bit to get going this morning. Although, there was an absolutely gorgeous sunrise moon set. So, it's worth getting out of bed in the morning because you never know what you're going to see in the sky. The clouds made for an interesting sunrise, and then the moon was like opposite. The moon was in the west and the sun is in the east, and so it was like this bright blue sky with the moon, and then the sun with the clouds, and yeah, so it's why one of the reasons why I like walking in the morning. It's too hot right now to walk at night to catch the sunset, but the sunrise, it's a bit more manageable. All right, it is September 4th, I think. Yes, September 4th. It is Friday. I intend to go to the park tomorrow because I haven't seen the squirrels in 2 weeks. I'm just not sure if I'm going to run. So, yeah, give me a little space on the 9 a.m. thing. All right. Let's see. So, September 4th, in the month of expectancy, I open the door of my consciousness and welcome the divine guest. And we have a quote from Revelations today. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. And that is from Revelations 3:20. Okay. The healing Christ comes with directness into the mind of all who receive him. This Christ is the incarnation of God in the individual soul. Spirit has imparted itself to all persons. This divine incarnation, this living presence at the center of our being, is Christ, the soul of every living person. We do not will this presence into existence, nor do we by declaration, affirmation, or command it. Take that sentence. We do not count it by we do not court it by false humility, nor engage its attention merely by admiration. The presence, the power, is already there. It is willingness, acceptance, and recognition that give entrance to the divine presence. It is faith and acknowledgement that permit its creative power to flow through our word. Therefore, I lift up mine eyes unto the hills, the divine presence within me, from whence cometh my strength. I will look long and earnestly. Okay, let me try this again. I will look long and earnestly, sincerely and simply upon every object and every person until this presence is revealed. I will wait at the doorway of my expectation until my acceptance grants my mind the privilege of beholding God's grace forevermore. But I will not wait too long, for today I expect to see God's shining presence revealed. Today I expect to don the seamless robe of the divine union. Today the Most High is revealed in my life. Okay, I'm really enjoying the month of expectancy, but I admit that it's a little harder for me to read. But just a quick take on what I'm walking away from with this is be you. Be who you really are when you consciously step into the presence of God, or spirit, whatever word you want to use. You don't have to put on airs. You don't have to drag yourself through the mud. You don't have to be you. Be who you are at the core of your being. And I say step consciously into the presence of the spirit simply because you're always in the presence of spirit. And he said it in there. You're always in the presence of spirit. But when you come to spirit to ask for something, be it for you or somebody else, you are consciously stepping into the presence. And you don't have to put on airs, and you don't have to do any of that. Be you. I mean, that's who spirit created you to be. And as Oscar Wilde says, be you. Everybody else is taken. So, okay. So the healing Christ comes with directness into the mind of all who receive him. And then at the end of this paragraph, he says the healing presence of Christ is already there. But when you consciously call it up, it comes with directness to all who receive him. This Christ is the incarnation of God in the individual soul. That's why we talk about the Christ consciousness. Jesus was a person. The Christ consciousness is what he took on. So Christ is not a person so much as a consciousness that we all are capable of. Jesus was just really good at it. Great example. Spirit has imparted itself to all persons. This divine incarnation, this living presence at the center of our being is Christ, the soul of every living being. So he says it. He says, he starts out by saying it comes with directness, and then at the end of that paragraph, it's 3 short paragraphs. He says, this being Christ is the soul of every living being. Okay, so we do not will this presence. This is where I was like, what is going on in this paragraph? We do not will this presence into existence. It's not willpower. We don't have to use willpower. Nor do we by declaration, affirmation, or demand command it. So basically he's saying you can't command spirit. You can't make declarations, you can't make affirmations, you can't demand it. We do not court it by false humility or engage its attention by merely admiration. So it's like all of this stuff, it's like, no. I'm not saying not to do declarations and affirmations, but when we are talking about this presence of Christ, that's not how we get there. I'm going to rethink, I may rethink the affirmations. Oh, no, wait, because he's talking about the presence in existence. Okay. See, this is where I'm working it out. I'm working it out in real time right now. We do not will this presence into existence. We can't command it into existence. We can't demand it into existence. We can't affirm it into existence because it already exists. We can't, the presence, the power is already there. So we don't have to create it. That work's already been done. It actually created us the other way around. Okay. It is willingness, acceptance, and recognition that gives entrance to the divine presence. So willingness, acceptance, and recognition. We have to recognize that it's there. We have to be willing to have it inflow into our lives to a greater degree than it already does, and we have to accept it. So those are the you don't need to command and humility and you don't need any of that. Just recognize that it exists within you already. Be willing to allow it to come forth faith more and accept that it's there. Okay. It is faith and acknowledgement that permit its creative power to flow through our word. Faith and acknowledgement. I mean, that's the steps of treatment. Recognition, unification, realization. So acknowledging that this power exists and is flowing through us, and the faith that it is. The faith that when I speak my word, that power will come through. Because I recognize it, I'm willing, and I'm accepting that it not my will, but thine. Therefore, I lift mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my strength. Bible quote. I don't know where it is. I'd have to look it up. And he says the divine presence with it. So, therefore, I lift mine eyes unto the hills, meaning the divine presence within me, from whence cometh my strength. So, where is your strength coming from? The divine presence. That you have recognized and willingly accepted. I will look long and earnestly, sincerely and simply upon every object and every person until this presence is revealed. So right there, he is asking us to look at absolutely everyone and everything and see the divine presence. And some days, you're looking at things and you're going, how is this divine? And other days it's easy. Other days, the birds are singing and the sun is shining and there's this glorious sheen to everything and you're going, I see the divine presence everywhere. And then some days you just don't. So, and those are the days that we get to sit back and go, and not use that willpower. Those are the days we sit back and go, okay, all right, I need to work a little bit more on my recognition, my willingness, my acceptance. We're human. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Okay, so I will wait at the doorway of my expectation until my acceptance grants my mind the privilege of beholding God's face forevermore. That's a sentence. I will wait at the doorway of my expectation. So I'm going to stand there until my acceptance, my willingness to accept that this divine presence is all around me, grants my mind the privilege of beholding God's face forevermore. And that's what he was asking us to do. It's like, all right, you want to see God's face? You have to see God's face everywhere. Not just where you want to, but everywhere. It's easy to see God's face in the church. I was raised Catholic. I have been in some gorgeous churches. It's easy to see God's face there. Is it easy to see God's face in a homeless shelter? So I will wait in the doorway of my acceptance, or the doorway of my expectation, until my acceptance grants my mind the privilege of beholding God's face forevermore in every place that I look. Not just the easy places, but the hard places too. But I will not wait too long. That's exactly the next sentence, but I will not wait too long. For today, I expect to see God's shining presence revealed. Today, I expect to don the seamless robe of divine union. Today, the Most High is revealed in my life. I believe it was in the Gnostic class where we learned about, according to the Gnostics, why Jesus came to earth, and he came to liberate Sophia. He came to liberate wisdom. And as he comes down through the gates, he takes the robes off until he gets to the final gate to enter the material world and takes that final robe off. And so that's the gate we're standing at, is the gate between the spiritual and the divine, the material and spiritual. The robe that we want to don, that is just a word. The robe we want to put on is that divine nature. We are that divine nature, but we don't always recognize it. And so we're standing at the gate, we're standing at the doorway of our expectancy, in the willingness to accept that everywhere and everything and everyone is that divine presence, that divine splinter, that there's no place where God isn't. It's a robe that is incredibly heavy and at the same time incredibly light. Welcome to living life as in this world. So our mission, should we choose to accept it, is willingness, acceptance, and recognition that gives entrance to the divine presence. So our mission today is to work on our willingness, acceptance, and recognition that the divine presence is here, that there is nothing that we need to do to court it, to get its attention, other than being willing to recognize and accept it, that it's there. To be ourselves at a level that you don't have to put on fancy clothes to meet God. You don't have to put on ashes and sackcloth to meet God. You can meet God just you can meet God just as you are. All right. So, do something loving for yourself. Do something kind for yourself. Do something compassionate for yourself. Open the windows of your soul. Allow that breath of heaven to come in. And allow that breath of heaven to remind you that you are enough, just as you are. That God doesn't want anything more from you than you are. What Spirit wants is for you to become more fully yourself. And remember that you are a beloved child of God, always and forever, in whom Spirit is well pleased. So I'm going to move on into the process of my day. I'm going to encourage you, it is still hot out there. Please drink plenty of water and know that Reverend David will be on with you around 5 p.m. and I will be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow because it is Saturday. It is Labor Day weekend, so make the most of it. All right? Do what you need to do to make it a fantastic day. Do something that engages your mind and your body today. All right, beloveds. I will see thee anon.